Well, I think it's you can see how many times we've won here as a club. It's not easy, not something that happens all the time. So I think when you do get the 3 points, it's nice to celebrate with our supporters. They were fantastic throughout the game, helping us out. And then when we needed to suffer, which you inevitably have to here, we managed to do that. So it's a nice moment, and now we have to prepare for the next one.
I think it wasn't necessary to give so easy 2 goals away. If we are better on the ball, and if we make better decisions, not only in technical skills but also decisions on the ball choices, then we can better dominate the game.
No new signings in your starting lineup today. I know you'll be continuing to the end of August to see what you can do, but is there much to be said for a settled ship, solid, everybody knows their work?
Well, we said before, we're quite calm with what we do and how we work. I mean, it's not so straightforward. I think the last 3 windows is £150 million of player sales, so by definition that isn't so easy to manage. But when the group is what it is, and there's ambition and there's hard work and there's humility and everybody's trying their best, then like I say, you can achieve things.
It's tough. 25 minutes we digged in, we fighted as a unit together, as a team. Everyone was giving everything what was in his body, and that shows what a great team we are, and that's why I think we deserve to win today.
I'm sure you knew already, but does this underline to everybody just how big a job it is, the work you have to do?
I'm aware of it before, and that doesn't change this game, and it's a hell of a job, and we have to work really hard. We have to analyze this clear, to learn the lessons, and then we have to move forward.
Before we praise Brighton to the hilt, you were there today, Dion. Would it be fair to say that the bubble burst quite quickly?
Yes. The atmosphere was good. The atmosphere was good. There was a confidence, a nervous confidence. They were looking forward to the game to start. The game started 5-10 minutes in, no singing whatsoever. Brighton fans are singing. Are we in a library? What's that song they sing? Are we in a library? Whatever it may be. And then it just went all wrong. All that confidence and that nervous energy just spilled onto the pitch, and the players just didn't give me what I was looking for.
Brighton were confident, weren't they? And they were tactically impressive, and performance-wise, to an individual, they were impressive.
Well, what was really impressive from Graham Potter was the change in tactics. Normally we see them play through the lines, build up from the back. They played really direct, which was something United weren't expecting. There was some terrific individual performances, I have to say. Dunk at the back, Caicedo midfield, obviously Gross who got the goals. But the reason they were able to play this way is because they had Danny Welbeck up the top of the pitch. He had a point to prove. He was running in behind non-stop. And look at this from the kick-off. Now, this doesn't seem like a big thing, but to me, it's intent. I'm not going to let you have it easy today. I'm going to come after you 2 centre-backs, and I'm going to set the tone for my team. They win it back there after, 10, 15 seconds, and they nearly have a chance. And that set the tone for him. He kept playing on the shoulder, intelligent runs, not running in there for the sake of it. Timing his runs, it's a great ball. And when he gets in there, can he produce a pass? Can he produce a moment? Yes. And of course, when you go a goal up, gets everyone full of confidence. It gets the fans quiet, as Dion just said. Look at this for hold-up play. When they were under a bit of pressure, you need a get-out ball, what United didn't have because no striker on the pitch. They played with a false 9. They lacked that focal point. And what do you want from your striker when the ball's going in the box? You want him to get in there. You want him to be on top of the centre-halves and trying to get a goal. And his energy, he maintained the levels and the running in behind and his hold-up play through the second half, which was really invaluable as the game wore on because United were getting stronger. Again, he'll be disappointed with that, getting in between those centre-halves who are trying to form this new partnership that wasn't quite right today.
That's a penalty, isn't it?
In the moment, maybe, but on the replay, it was a penalty. I think they got away with one there, United. And in the last few moments of the game, when it's 2-1, the pressure, just little bits of skill. Look at the confidence oozing out of him. He led the line as well as I've seen him in many years. Strong, he looked fit, hungry. If he stays fit, he gives Brighton a hell of an option.
And there's an irony in a former United player leading the line when United didn't have anybody.
And United playing with a false 9, which is strange.
Pascal Gross, by the way, goals against Manchester United in the Premier League. Only one player has scored more Premier League winners against United.
Move on.
He's looking.
Move on. Can we move on?
And that is you got 5. It is you.
Yeah, well, it's the first time I think I can think of a stat where it's not Alan Shearer.
Yeah, that's the only reason I read it out. It's the first historical stat on Match of the Day or Match of the Day 2.
Shearer to have 67.
As far as United were concerned, so many faults for you both to pick over.
Well, I think they lost confidence at playing out. He obviously wants them to play football from the back. I think after losing a couple of balls early on, De Gea lost his confidence in the back players to give it them, and there was confusion. Are they playing out? Are they playing long? The problem is when he tried to play long, there's no striker there, there's no focal point, they weren't winning any battles, so the turnovers were happening really quickly. The reaction when they lose the ball in the middle of the pitch, not good enough from Eriksen, it's a gesture. And then when the break is on, they're trying to get back. The back line is there, the 2 midfielders are there, but look at what the four of them looking at the ball. No awareness of danger behind them. You've got a 4v2 at the back. There's the goal scorer, Gross. It's a great run from Welbeck. Centre half's not communicating again. And Shaw doesn't know who to mark. There's 2 of them. It's just mayhem.
It happened a lot, though. It happened a lot during the whole of the game. If you watch Dallow's doing the right thing. He's squeezed him in. He's got out of it. Now Dallow has to try and get back and help his team. There's 3 elements to this one here. The play. Look at the 2 centre halves, Martinez and Maguire. One in front, one behind. You should never cross over as centre halves. That's schoolboy stuff. Fred's worked really hard, by the way. The last one we're going to highlight is Fred. There he is. He's worked really hard to get back, but he's switched off at the far post just at the last minute. And there's Dallow. Dallow still didn't make it into his own box. That when you lose the ball, the first thing you do is you sprint in a straight line all the way back. There's a goal again. Fred switching off. So 3 elements to that could have been sorted out, could have been avoided.
I think if you look at the 2 top teams in the country, they generally play with 7 players on the pitch who are defensively minded, 4 and 3. You know, you could argue De Bruyne as a creative midfielder, Bernardo Silva, but their work ethic that way is second to none. Liverpool's midfield 3 the same. United are setting up today especially, and they've done it many times last season. They've got Eriksen, Fernandes, Sancho, Rashford. That's 4. So they're playing with 1 less defensively. And the ones who are in the positions defensively are struggling at the moment in terms of new relationships.
How much are you both surprised by what we saw? Because if you actually look at the evidence, that's a set. I know Brighton have had to sell some players, but that's a Graham Potter squad built with a technical director in Dan Ashworth who's moved on. Okay, yeah. But that's everybody pulling in the same direction, well structured, all bought. The other side is still trying to find a structure with a new manager who in the main has still got not his players, bar Eriksen and Martinez today. So actually, if you look at the evidence, should you be surprised by that result?
Yes, you should be, because if you look at a piece of paper, the Man United players are better. The Man United players are better on paper. However, if you look at the team structure and the way he set up his side, the way they've squeezed together, the way that they attack together, the way they got the ball back together, it's exactly what you're saying. He's built that. It's taken time. It's going to take Manchester United, on today's evidence, a long time to try and find a structure that works for them.
I do think Ten Hag learnt more today in that game from some of those players than he did in the whole of pre-season.
About the players, which is the important thing.
One other line, by the way, Manchester United, according to several multiple outlets, have had a bid of £500,000 rejected for Marko Arnautovic, who got 14 Serie A goals for Bologna last season and is 33.
Getting back to Eric Ten Hag then, 9 of those 11 players that started were somebody else's, the ones he's inherited. Is that too much of a percentage to be squeezing something out of somebody else's players before we start getting to the end of the window and maybe getting a couple more of his in?
I don't think so, because he's got a great reputation as a coach. He did really well at Ajax, of course, and I think he can make these players better. How much better? I'm not sure. There's an advancement where he can take them up into the top 4. I don't think these players look good enough for that. I think they're a good group of players, don't get me wrong, but are they better than the 5 squads we spoke about before, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City? I don't think they are. I think 6 is the very best he can do. He needs help. There's no doubt he needs help. Frankie de Jong would be a big help. Hopefully he wasn't watching that game today. And he needs more. He needs a forward. If Cristiano's not going to be around, I don't see where the goals are coming from. Marcus, Jadon today, just not involved in the game. But do you know what? All that can change with bringing the right midfield player in. As a midfield player for Manchester United, when you're in possession, you have to be the link between your defence and your forwards. I mean, Michael showing a little bit. The way they were playing, it was impossible for them to do that. You have to have that game intelligence. So, as much as Fernandes and Eriksen weren't involved, and Sancho and Rashford, it was because of the way the two midfield players were playing. They have to be the link from the back to your forward players.
And the fact that he's chased Frankie de Jong this long, does that probably show that Erick Ten Hag agrees with you, and that's an absolute priority for him?
Yeah, look, I think it's glaring. Obviously, it's been glaring obviously for the last 2 years that the two midfield, whatever midfield player we've got in there at the minute, just haven't got the quality. Frankie de Jong is a top player. I think he'd make a big difference, but there's so much messing about in the background of actually doing a deal. Look, if he doesn't want to come on, you move on, maybe to a Declan Rice. I don't know, maybe it's too much money. I think Frankie de Jong could be that link. I'm not too sure. I think them two together, de Jong and Declan Rice, now you're talking a proper link, a proper partnership, two really good footballers. And attacking wise, them two, keep going back to it, them two midfield players have to bring your forward players into the game. These two, with positions we'll show in a bit, they're not capable of it. Or they've shown, as for now, with a bit of coaching they might be capable of it. But no, they're good ages though, aren't they? How much are they going to learn now? But some of the stuff they do is it's mind-boggling, really.
Some interesting thoughts there from Erick Ten Hag, as indeed there was from Paul a little bit earlier on. He and Michael have gone across to the tech zone. Paul played over 700 games in midfield for Manchester United, so you're going to elongate the point, Michael.
Well, exactly. If anybody's going to know what Manchester United midfield should look like, then I'm standing right next to him. So, Paul, let's have a look at this midfield, and straight away we see a clip here with Martinez in possession. Straight away you want to make a point in terms of these two people, Fred and McTominay.
As I just said over there with Steve and Sean, these two are the link between your defence and your forward players. Now look, if you just look at both of their body shape now, looking to receive the ball, the only way they can go that way is backwards. So it can go back to Martinez, it can go back to Maguire. These four forwards, Sancho, Eriksen, Rashford, Fernandes, they might as well be sat here with us. Yeah. It's impossible for them to see him. They should be on the half turn. Fred straight away, he should be on the half turn. And maybe it's just a little pass into Maguire. Then Maguire can come forward. Look at that space he's got into. But he's facing the wrong way. He goes back to him. He crowds it all up. And again, it takes so much time to get over it. And as this develops now, Michael, into Maguire, as I said, which we could have done earlier, this is when Eriksen comes into this space.
Yeah, this is fascinating, I find, Scholesy, because as we said before the game, Eriksen's come from in that position into here, and that leaves a great space for Bruno to run into. So the actual movement is a good movement, but there's no point in moving when the centre-half's got the ball in his own box. It needs to go through stages through the pitch.
Exactly, which is what I'm saying. So that's from Tommy all the time. Always be on the half turn. Whatever coach you had, always be on the half turn. If need be, you can go back to your centre half if need be. But more importantly, can you play the ball forward? Are you looking? Again, you look at Freddie's running to the ball. McTominay facing Maguire again. This is where you've got to be on the half turn. You've got to receive it on the back foot. Then you can maybe play it into Rashford, play it into Bruno. But these, with body positions, it's a simple thing, Michael. Yeah. Being on the half turn is so easy. As you know, as you can see forward, you can see backwards. That way, there's only one way you can go. It's a complete waste of time of having so much talent these two number 10s have got, when you've got two midfield players who don't have the body shape right. It's a simple thing. Look, Scott McTominay is 25.
Yeah.
Fred's 29.
If he knew what was around him, he'd be taking a touch on his right foot and his back foot into that area, and now you can progress through the pitch.
Exactly.
But he can't. He's got to go back. And of course, then it takes you extra touches, and you're either going to go backwards or sideways, or the ball goes out of play like this.
Well, it slows everything down, Michael, as well.
Yeah.
If you're on that half turn, you can always, it can be a one touch. You take the midfield player out of it.
Yeah.
That is taking touches. He's got to go back towards his defence. Taking too many touches, it gives time for these to get in position. You think of Eriksen, he came into a great position. Now he's not got the ball. He's picked up.
Have a look at this one.
Again,
Body position.
Body position. This is a 29-year-old centre midfield player for United, Michael. Get on the half turn. You know, he's been brought up well. Erick is a brilliant coach. Does he have to time at 29 years of age? All he has to do is on the half turn, he's facing everything. He can play it into Fernandez.
Space he's got.
The space he's got, but he takes too many touches. I think this lad closes him down. And as I say, too many touches, 2-3 touches, the man's into him. If he's on the half turn there, Michael, it's one touch, bang into Eriksen, bang into Fernandez, and that's when your Rashfords, your Sanchos who can run, that's when they get their joy. But playing with two midfielder players who are only interested in going the wrong way, waste of time having them 4 players.
And it was the perfect run again from the attacking men, but just Fred can't get his body shape right. We fast forward a little bit to when Eriksen started coming deeper in here, and we'll just look at this again quite slowly, because again, it's the same old thing. You've got Fred, body shape, and we'll just run it forward.
It's schoolboyish, really, Michael, when you keep seeing this. And again, a 29-year-old midfield player for Manchester cannot get on the half turn. Eriksen's come into a lovely position. It's just a little flick around the corner. If he's facing this way, on the side turn, a little flick around the corner, he can play a 1-2, Eriksen can turn. But at least Eriksen at this point, he does get on the ball. That's the person you want on the ball. OK, I think he gives it away here. But you've got to get the ball to your most creative players who can then play your pace with your Rashfords and your Sancho. But as I said, a simple thing like body shape is stopping the whole attacking rhythm of a football team. You watch Manchester City this afternoon, Rodrigo, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, they all receive the ball on the half turn. If they're under a little bit of pressure, go back, keep the ball. If they're not, play the ball forward to Haaland. They never ever get in a position where they can make a threat to him and give the ball to the better players.
And of course, this example, I mean, he doesn't find a Manchester United player, but you just look at his body position here, at least he can actually go and play forward and he's not playing back all the time. And then we fast forward to the second half again. Christian Eriksen playing in that central area now. First of all, he breaks up the play, but this again, he can play forward and sustain attacks.
Well, you saw straight away his body shape.
Yeah.
He's half and half, exactly again. Half of him's going towards Maguire, but what he knows is not where he is, the awareness on the pitch, he's facing forward straight away, and he can get the ball forward into the players into the areas where he'd probably like to be, rather than doing it himself.
So you don't only start attacks, but you sustain attacks as well. We'll just highlight again Christian Eriksen. He's just backing up play here, but again, it's you're either playing the ball wide, you're feeding attacks, or you're getting your crosses or your shots in yourself. Again, he's that player that we spoke about at half time, whereby do you be brave and just play an attacking play and almost defend with the ball? Then you're just not going to give the ball away as much when you've got a player like that in.
As I said, I think they've got to go to now where they've got to play cleverest players. The best footballers in them positions. OK, Eriksen might not give you as much defensively. At times you might lose possession and give possession away, but just in that simple little spell there, where the ball's gone down the right-hand side, he knows I just have to hang out because it's very tight around there. The ball eventually will come round to him. I'm facing play. I can play somebody in. I can attack the goal. And I think he did have a shot actually. And it's just a cleverness. It's an awareness of being a footballer. Unfortunately, Fred and McTominay at this stage. Well, I say at this stage, at 25, 29. Will they ever going to learn? Are they ever going to learn? Yeah.
Well, Steve, I think we've watched both Manchester United teams today. One has done it perfectly, and of course, Manchester United's still got a long way to go if they're going to sort their midfield out.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for that. I do hope you realise, wherever you are watching, the midfield clinic that has just been put on for you. Wonderful insight from Paul Scholes. Absolutely brilliant. Then talking about the loss of Cucurella and Bissouma, we talked about that before the game. We talked about how could they follow a 9th place finish. What a start for Brighton to win at Old Trafford for the first ever time.
It's the first time they've won in Manchester, I think, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. We always have to get the City line in there, Sean, don't you? Well, no, we're talking about Brighton here. Brighton.
I'm in the 9th position now.
The other City.
I'm sat here with a Man United legend. It's what first time I can have, a little bit over it. So
we'll give you that. We'll give you
that. Brighton were fantastic today. I think, like you said, with the loss of Bissouma and Cucurella, to go to United with a new manager, I thought, who would have an identity for Man United, and to, in a way, turn them over, even without as much possession as they're used to, was fantastic to see.
How much analysis and improvement do you think he needs to go away and do after that, Paul?
quite a lot, really. I think I'd be disappointed, obviously, with the performance. It's interesting. He said when he brought Eriksen back into midfield that he felt like they had a lot more control of the game, which we felt like because of his quality. At times, Brighton did keep the ball a lot easier, so out of possession, it would worry him slightly if he's going to start a game, say Brentford next week. It would worry him slightly just to play with the one of them, but I think he has to do it. I think United's best form of defence is attack. They've got players with Cristiano coming into the team. I'm sure if he's still there, he's going to start next Saturday, and it brings more goals to the team. We said before the game, it just looked light on goals. Marcus has not been great the last year, 18 months. Jadon Sancho has still got a little bit to prove. Bruno last year as well didn't score as many as the first year he was there. So they need to bring as much creativity. Play the best footballers. You might as well. They play the two holding players, Scott and Fred, to shore up the team, maybe get a little bit of control in there. But they don't even do that. The other team still have plenty of control of the ball and possession. You might as well just get your best footballers and create chances and score more goals than they do.
I was just about to say exactly the same scores. When you're Manchester United, you've got a back four, Steve, that play with full-backs that don't even bomb forward. And then they play two sitting midfielders in front. I mean, it's the most defensive way to play, yet they still don't look like a solid defensive unit. So why not just think, do away with that. Let's get our best players and let's actually defend by keeping the ball. If the opposition don't have the ball, then they've got no chance of attacking anyway. So just do away with that. Do away with the two sitting midfielders. They don't even protect them anyway. So you might as well just put a ball player in there, get control of the game, get possession, and actually try to play. And then you'll create more chances as well.
We'll see a team that'll do that today. We'll watch Manchester City now. They'll play with the one. The rest of them are just brilliant footballers.
Yeah.
Why don't Man United try it? We say he's an attacking manager. He's been brought over because the attacking skills that Ajax had. Show us.